Genevieve Tucker. Thank you for tuning in to the Northern Static Series on CFUR 88.7 FM. You can find us online at cfur.ca. We're broadcasting from the traditional unceded territory of the Lheidli First Nation. This initiative is made possible by the Community Radio Fund of Canada. Okay. From performing as a drummer with many celebrated bands in our region, such as Black Spruce Bog, Folky Strum Strum, Saltwater Hank, and Dead Sexy, just to name a few, to bringing artists and live music to our community as a sound person and presenter for his company, Madloon Entertainment, to providing space for artists in our community to flourish on stage by hosting the open mic at Nancy O's, to starting his own musical project as an accordion-fronted band known as Danny Bell and His Disappointments. Danny Bell, our featured artist, has been a staple in our local and regional music scene for over a decade. Danny Bell, I'm honored to welcome you to the Northern Static Series. Hi.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It's really great to have you here. I was searching through our CFUR archives to see if we had like a segment of you on our YouTube channel or like an interview posted on our blog, because there's many. And so I was sifting through all of those, but it's been a minute since you've been in the studio. Mm-hmm. So you're in a few YouTube videos playing drums with various artists. And there's also like a sneaky episode with yourself and Justin Gendreau, like years ago. What was the group called?
Ritmos or something.
Yeah. Cool. I was checking that out. Go do some digging if you want to see that episode for yourself. It's pretty cool. But nothing showcasing like just you for your new project. Or not new, but solo project. On our YouTube channel as of yet. So really happy to have you here. It's been a long time coming.
Thanks.
Yeah. So let's go back in time with this classic question. Can you tell me about yourself and what started you on your journey to become a musician?
I first started playing drums I guess I didn't start drums until grade 5 or 6, summer after grade 5. But I saw somebody playing drums when I was a kid, I think in church, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. And then my parents made me learn piano in order to get a drum kit, so...
That was the trade-off.
Mm-hmm. So then I got into piano a bit, which is smart of them. I don't know. Yeah, that's a really difficult question because I've just always loved music as, like, for my whole life. So I kind of always knew that it was going to be important to me, but I think what got me into doing it as like a job was playing with Black Spruce Bog and meeting kind of like small time Canadian musicians that go to different festivals and stuff, and seeing people like, I don't know, like Scott Cook and I don't know. There's like a few people from like that, like a little bit older, that have been doing it for a lot longer, and I just saw that it was like possible to do that, like to be a musician and not be like big time or semi big time. Like you can get by as like a small time artist.
Totally. Yeah.
So that's what made me start thinking about it more instead of like being like, oh, this is just a thing I'll do on the side.
Does the rest of your family, like, did they play music as well?
I didn't grow up in like a musical household, but like my mom played oboe, but I never like heard her playing around the house.
Yeah.
My dad played like violin, but once again, I never heard him playing around the house. I don't think he was super into it. No. Yeah. So it was just kind of me. And my brother like played saxophone in high school, but that's about it.
School band. Did you play in like high school band and all of that?
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
And
cool.
I loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We had a really good band program in our school.
And where did you grow up, for our listeners that don't know?
Red Wing, Minnesota.
Okay.
For the most part.
And then you're here in northern BC. Mm-hmm. What made you come to this very school?
To right here. I moved to UNBC. I moved to go here like at UNBC. Yeah, and I studied anthropology, and now I have an anthropology degree, and I'm a musician. So.
Well, hey, it's a fun fact to spout at parties. You're like, well, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you joined Black Spruce Bog, that was during university times, or was that after?
That was during university.
So did you meet everyone in the band at UNBC, more or less?
Yes, through UNBC. I don't think, like, Eric wasn't going to UNBC, and Amy, I don't think, was going to UNBC at the time either. But I met Jeremy at the school, and then he met them at, like, a party or something.
Moving back to your influences, do you remember like some of your top artists when you were growing up, like that kind of influenced your music early on?
Maybe like Mason Jennings.
Mm-hmm.
But like most of the stuff I grew up on wouldn't really be like, I'm sure it trickles in somehow, but it's not really like influencing the stuff that I play or whatever. Like I used to listen to like the Mars Volta pretty obsessively.
Yeah.
So I don't get a lot of that in my music.
Yeah, that's what was my follow-up question. Have those influences changed over time?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, just gotten broader and broader, wider and wider, anything.
Totally.
Like I used to be a little bit more narrow, but I've always been into like a lot of different kinds of music, but I feel like that's just been expanding forever, and hopefully that just continues.
So I think it came to quite a surprise to your audience when you picked up the accordion and started performing your songs with the accordion. Do you remember making that shift, and what kind of inspired you and like led you to, I guess, come to the front of the stage and start singing your own songs?
I think, well, someone gave me an accordion.
Okay.
And then I started messing around with it, and it just felt really good. And then I was like thinking, oh, maybe I can actually write songs for my own now. And I just started messing with it, and it felt really good. To sing and play the accordion, and then my friends were encouraging me, so I went to the open mic and kept going back, and then had enough songs to play a show, and then
very cool.
Yeah. Just kind of like fell into it.
I guess some people wouldn't really see it this way, but it is kind of transferable from being like very rhythmic as a drummer to playing the accordion too. It is like you have to be very rhythmic to be able to do all of these different things at once.
Yeah, and like the limb coordination, like doing different things with different limbs. And it's just like multitasking that is good, that comes from drumming. Yeah,
it's tricky, and it's like a whole body experience too.
Yes.
Like I've tried it before, and it's quite hard. Like it's hard. You have to have different muscles in different areas of your body to be able to actually do all of those things at the same time. Yeah,
it took a while, but then after a while you can just kind of forget all the different things you're doing at the same time.
Yeah.
And then you build up the muscles, and then away you go.
So that first accordion that was given to you, is that the same one that you play today? Or
no, that one, it's total trash. The first one that I had, I used to like just bring it to parties and stuff, and like play it around fires, and I used to play it in a sauna at this place that we lived at, and I think that's just like really bad to do with an accordion, playing in a sauna. Or any instrument. Yeah, probably. But it's totally toast. I still have it, but it's just toast.
Cool. And so today, like, that's not all that you're doing. Like, you're switching, like you're playing drums in different groups, and then you're also playing accordion, playing your own solo project. How is it like switching between different projects? Like, does it kind of keep you on your toes, or it keeps you rounded, happy, being able to kind of do a little bit of both?
Yeah, I like switching it up, and if I'm getting sick of just being in the back all the time and not making any decisions, then I can have a trip where I book it and I am making all the decisions, but then that gets really stressful, so then I can go back to just playing drums in a band, and that's really nice. For sure. Thing to come back to.
Yeah, that's a great balance. It is nice to be in like other projects where you're not solely responsible for making all of the decisions, and you can kind of just be along for the ride a little bit.
For sure. Yeah, I probably prefer that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm learning that about myself too. It's nice to be able to sit in the back seat every now and again. So songwriting, like, what was it? Do you remember like the first song that you wrote? Do you have one that stands out that was like fully formed?
That End of Times one. It's on my first album, End of Times, Prediction Freaks. It's that one about like the guy who like builds a bomb shelter with his kid, as like a bonding experience. I don't know why, like, it doesn't make sense that that's like my first song that I ever wrote. It's not like it's the one that had been sitting inside of me forever and it finally came out. It just like, I don't know why I was thinking about that. But yeah, that's the first one that I wrote.
Cool. And then since then, like, do you feel of course it has, but like, how do you feel your songwriting approach has changed like over the years? Because this is, your fourth album just came out. How do you feel like that's progressed?
I don't know. I think maybe those first songs came out really quickly, and I think the ones on this album maybe didn't come out so quickly, but maybe on purpose. Like, just put a little bit more thought into the words, I think.
Yeah.
Not that
like into the lyrics.
Yeah. I don't know how I would describe the change. Like, I've kind of been like learning accordion as I've been progressing as a songwriter too. Right. So like the like accordion aspect of the songwriting, that stuff I feel has changed a lot. And I'm sure my lyricism has like, I hope it's like improved. But yeah, I feel like I'm spending more time on it, and maybe it's not so like quick and literal. Like, just a lot of my early songs were just kind of like quick observations like of stuff around me, fast molded together songs. And these ones are a little bit more maybe like more like metaphor and a little bit more introspective and a lot sadder. And yeah.
Like, when do you find yourself writing most of your songs? Like, what are you going through at the time? Like, is it something like you need to get some feelings out, or is it just a song kind of just hits you and you're like, yep, this is the time? Or are you like actively sitting down, I need to write a song?
What I wind up doing a lot of the time, I don't normally get like a calling to be like, oh, I should write a song about how people think Prince George is shitty. I usually just like start working on like a song, or like am playing on the accordion, and then I start mumbling or like not saying real words or whatever, but like kind of like scat singing.
Right, to like find a melody kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
some of those words kind of usually start to stick, and then some of those words that fit really well kind of like, it's weird, but they sort of like become something that has been like on my mind a lot, like leading up to that moment. So like it kind of like forms out of this like cloud that feels like you're just choosing random words or whatever, but it's weird how they kind of come together into something that really speaks to something that you are feeling.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I relate to that a lot. I feel like sometimes your intuition kicks in a little bit and subconsciously takes over. In my experience anyways, I find that happening a lot. Sometimes it takes me a while too to like actually understand what the song is about until I sit with it a little bit and then look back.
Yeah, totally.
And then kind of understand, okay, what was happening in my life at that time. Do you find your songs are like pretty personal, or do you try to step away from that? Have you ever tried to like sit in like a different perspective?
I've written some songs from like other perspectives. I think I usually write from my own perspective. Some of it the personal, like from my own perspective stuff, a lot of that stuff too is like more like stuff that I see. It's just kind of like through my lens. It's not really like, a lot of my songs aren't really like about my own experience, I guess. It's more about like an experience that's like around me or something.
What role has like living here where we live in northern BC played in shaping your music? It's
played a huge role. Well, I obviously have that song about Prince George and a couple songs, I guess. And like we were talking about before, with me kind of taking observations around me as inspiration, it's kind of inevitable that the place where I live has a big impact on that, because it's kind of like setting the scene for the life that I'm living, I guess.
Totally.
But in like specific ways, I don't know. I guess it in the way that it reflects Prince George, I guess it's a little gritty and but also nice under it. It has like a smoothness under it, I feel like, that Prince George also has, that people don't normally see from the outside. There's like, it is nice under it all, under the grit. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm singing about logging too much. Well, I guess I do have that song about paper, but yeah, it's not like outright, but it's just more of like a vibe that emanates through it, I think. Some of it's pretty outright, I guess.
Yeah. And also it's like the end result of logging.
Yes.
in a way, you know,
Right.
where some people is just login.
Yeah.
You've gone another step. Yeah, it's different.
That's right.
Cool. Well, you've had like a really busy year, a super busy
Mm-hmm.
year. You've been on the road a ton. Can you tell us about that? Like, what's it been like this past 2024 for you?
It was a bit of a whirlwind. I've been meaning to sit down and do like a little journal exercise where I like go through my calendar and then think about what happened in the different places or whatever. But looking back at it right now, it's seriously a blur. But I can name most of the things that we did. It probably won't be in the right order.
That's okay.
But I did a lot of touring with Jeremy Paul this year, as I have for the most years since the Black Spruce Bog days, in various projects. But we went to the East Coast a couple times, which is pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Had
you been there before?
Yeah, in 2018, him and I went.
Okay.
But it'd been a long time. And it was really, really awesome. We went to a festival called Sappy Fest.
Yeah.
Which was a highlight for sure for the summer. Just so cool seeing like the East Coast, getting a little glimpse into the East Coast music scene. Apparently Sappy Fest is kind of like a East Coast renowned, like kind of like small mid-size festival.
Yeah.
So lots of really cool music, but not really like big crowds or anything, and just one stage, and it's really cool. Yeah, and then we went all around the East Coast after that, like to Halifax and PEI and stuff. So that was quite beautiful. And then we came back and we played our first show in the U.S. together, which is in Washington. And Washington is very cool. I was really impressed by that place. Olympia, I think we were. And then we played a bunch of BC festivals. And then we went to the East Coast again and did like a music conference thing, which is really interesting. Yeah, they're funny. And I still haven't done one where I'm like selling myself or whatever, like trying to get myself booked. But I've done one with Kim Gucci forever ago, and now this one with Jeremy.
So you like presented, so there's like a set strict time, like you only have 15 minutes to play.
Yeah, and they like take over a hotel and just kind of like turn different rooms into like stages and stuff.
Yeah, I've been to Breakout West actually.
Oh,
but
nice.
I didn't present, but I've been there for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like the same idea. And then we went to some other East Coast, kind of like Toronto, Montreal, that area, Ottawa. Yeah. And then we went down to East Coast US, like Massachusetts.
Cool.
That was awesome. And we were close to Salem, so like people were like taking Halloween pretty seriously down there. It was really, really cool. Plus the houses over there are just like kind of spooky by nature, just because of the era they were built in. And we had floppy pizza.
Floppy pizza.
Yes. That was really good. Yeah, I think that's like a pretty good summary.
Well, and in the midst of all of that too, like you came out with an album.
Yes.
Which is also, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so our new album came out in September. We did a release show with Crohn's at the Legion. Yeah, geez, it has been a really busy year. It just kind of flew by.
I like that idea of sitting down and like writing it all out and documenting it and keeping it, because it can be easy to forget all of the little smaller pieces that made up all of those big moments in the year.
Well, Jeremy and I both had these like little film cameras that we were bringing around, but we're so bad at like documenting even when we had those cool little cameras. So I don't know, whatever. Can't live in regret.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to go back and just kind of like take notes and not let things slip by, because I know in previous years I've like been like similarly busy or whatever and just kind of like not gone back and reflected on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when you finish a long stretch of traveling like that, and when it's like pretty intense, like people maybe think that we just like party and have fun all the time or whatever, but like it is a ton of fun, and we do have a lot of fun. It's like so much work, and you don't really realize how much work it is until you're back home and like finally your body knows you can like sit and relax for a bit, and then it all just kind of hits you really fast. And then I usually get like pretty sad for some reason. I just get like, and I'm not like sad to be home, and I'm not always sad about what just happened on the road or anything like that. It's just like, just like exhaustion maybe or something. I don't know. It's
Totally.
weird. And in the past, I've just kind of like, oh, I'll just get through the blues, and then winter starts, and then it's like really hard to get through the blues. But yeah, this year I really want to like not just let those experiences like feel like a big ball of energy that I'm trying to like put behind me or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can move on at a normal pace. But I want to like just be a little bit more thoughtful of those experiences.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I think that's a good way to move into it. Do you feel like was it too much at all this year? Like, did you feel? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
Jeremy
it was?
and I both felt that way. That it was just like it was just like a lot, just too much time away, and
yeah,
it's just hard to be away from
yeah
Evan and Frank, my partner and my dog.
Yeah.
We did the math, and it was like over 5 months I was home for less than or like 3 weeks or something.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just hard to be away for that long.
Moving into next year, like what do you think that'll look like for you? What would you like do differently?
I've already started planning.
Okay.
So
because you have to, yeah.
Yeah, I am gonna start by doing like a couple short like solo tours.
Like solo without the band?
Yeah, just on my own. Nobody else to worry about. Just kind of like house shows and stuff. And then kind of peppering those types of things throughout the year, like so that I know I have trips where like the stakes are pretty low and it's going to be pretty laid back.
Mm-hmm.
And then just making sure that I have the right amount of time between things.
Yeah.
Just enough time to decompress and not just kind of like bam, 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 bam.
Totally.
It's hard to do that because it's not like musicians make tons of money, and like the summer, like spring through the fall is kind of like when you get asked to play the most, or when the opportunities to play the most and travel the most are available. So it's kind of hard to say no to things. So I don't know. I'm saying that I'm going to try to do better or whatever, but I really don't know if it's going to happen.
You got to make hay when the sun shines, as they say.
Yeah. Or what's like a B grade version of hay? That's probably what we make.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to learn, but yeah, eventually, like I'm sure the balance will become easier, but I don't know, maybe it won't, because it's a lot. It's a tricky thing. Like being like a full-time working musician as yourself, you do so much for our community as well, in amongst all of those wonderful times that you've just been highlighting. Well, for instance, if you visit where we are right now, CFUR Studios, if you come into like our main lobby, you'll see like there's posters peppered the entire walls, floor to ceiling. And if you look at all those posters, I would say like almost like 50% of them like have a Madloon logo on them, which is incredible. And that's like over, when did Madloon start? And I guess we should give some context here. Madloon Entertainment is your company. Do you want to maybe talk about that?
Sure, yeah. It's been 9 years now.
9 years, wow.
Yeah, 2015 in October was the first show.
Yeah.
And the first show was Drum and Bell Tower and maybe Block Treat or something. Or I don't know who, maybe it was Sober Becky.
Well, you know what? We can go out here after and confirm that. It's definitely out there. I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, so 9 years and, well, I guess 9 and a bit now. And yeah, we used to go into the Legion to play pool because it was the only place with like free pool. And Anita and Linda were bartending there at that time or whatever. And so we would just go there and play pool and hang out with them. And they were talking about their like just kind of the common struggle with Legions with people not coming in the numbers that they used to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And just like the membership dwindling. And we had just lost Riley's, another music venue, so we were like kind of looking for a place to play, and it just kind of like fell into place to start doing stuff there. So I've been putting on shows at the Legion and Amanika and other places ever since.
Like this year alone, I don't know if you know how many shows you put on.
Yeah, this year was a little bit less so just because I was gone so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I've actually started getting help like doing sound.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be able to book as if I'm here all the time.
Yeah.
Basically, sometimes I got to say no to like some really cool stuff in the summer, especially that comes through like with all the great festivals around here. There's just so many great bands that are passing through that time of year.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you saw yourself continuing with that project, because it seems like you are getting so busy with your own music as well and playing with Jeremy. Yeah. But that's great to hear that you have like some help.
Yeah.
So you're not, it's not just contingent on if you're here or not.
Yeah. Yeah, because I did think about like maybe it does need to stop or whatever. Maybe I won't have time for it.
It's a lot.
Yeah, totally. Or like maybe I just need to get. I've also had moments where I think like maybe I need to get another job and not do the Madloon stuff because like it's not like it's like a money mill, you know, like putting on small to mid-sized local shows. It's definitely a passion project. I think I've just had to reshape it and kind of think about it in ways that where it causes the least amount of stress and doesn't get in the way of me wanting like the other things that I want to do in life, you know.
Like so many people in this community, myself included, are like so grateful that Madloon exists, that you have that company and you've been bringing well, it's really important, and I don't know who else would step up and take your place.
I'm sure someone would
eventually, maybe, but you've created a beautiful community around that, and through years of being a musician and touring and traveling and meeting all of these different folks, you have brought all of them here too, you know, different artists that have come into the Northern Circuit, and not just to Prince George, but to different festivals as well, you know. Maybe they're like, okay, I should check out what the North has to offer. And that's huge.
I think it's an easy thing to sell though, because like a lot of people kind of, especially when I first started putting on shows, a lot of people kind of cast off the possibility of coming up here. So I used to have to do a lot of outreach to bands and be like, hey, you should totally come up here, and then try to like connect them with other shows. And I still do a bit of that. But yeah, it was a really hard sell at first, and now it doesn't seem like such a hard sell. A lot of people are like aware of what's going on up here, and it's cool to see some of those artists start to play festivals around too. And yeah, it's awesome. I started doing a bit more outreach again because I want to just get some new projects coming to PG. There's a ton going on at Edmonton that hasn't made its way out here, and lots on like the island.
Are there any that you could maybe share some insight that you're...
Well, I've been really trying to get Bad Buddy from Edmonton.
Okay. What kind of music?
Yeah, just like high energy, fun, kind of garagey music. And then there's, Alien Boys. They've played here before, but it's just been a long time, and we don't really get a lot of great punk from like the Lower Mainland up here. I have a whole list at home. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look at my calendar and look at my list.
Yeah, no worries.
And a lot of it hasn't actually like come through. It's been like I email people. I email a lot of people, and like... You're
manifesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to manifest. Some get back, and then some are like, oh, maybe later on in the year, and we'll see if it happens. But yeah, I really want to get some new stuff up here. I think it's like really good for inspiration for myself and for just other musicians in town to be exposed to some new stuff, and the audiences and everybody. I just think it's good for everyone when new stuff is coming through. And I love getting those same old ones that have been coming for years, like Mother Son. They're coming again.
Cool.
But yeah, it's just I need to keep. That's another thing that I need to do to keep that project interesting for me, is to be bringing in new stuff and be meeting new people and making new connections.
I'm wondering how you find the balance of doing all of these different things. If there's maybe some advice that you can lend out to others that are wanting to, move into this career. I guess from, balance being on the road, recording, performing, hosting different shows, performances, booking shows, social media. You know, there's so much that comes along with what we do. And then also like the family aspect, like having a partner, dog. How do you, or are you still figuring that one out? And that's a loaded question.
I'm for sure still figuring it out. But I think a good piece of advice is just to know how like intense it is. Like it has to be something that you like absolutely love doing, because like it's not super easy. Like I was just talking about with the being on the road for 5 months or whatever. It's not like I come home with like boatloads of cash where I can just like chill for the winter, you know. Maybe one day, but not yet. And so like as soon as you get back from that, which I already talked about how exhausting that can be, even though it's super fun, you have to start planning for the next year.
Yeah.
Like it's the same with anybody who's self-employed, like not knowing exactly and you're working in like a gig economy, like not knowing that you for sure have work like 6 months from now or whatever. So that stress kind of weighs on you, even though it may not feel like it at first. I feel like all my advice is just like scary stuff where I'm like, just know it's gonna suck, but it doesn't.
Know what you're getting yourself into.
But yeah, I don't know. At the same time, I like being able to wear lots of different hats and see the industry from like so many different angles. I think it like helps me be a little bit more understanding. But I feel like I have a little bit more compassion to like the sound techs and to the venue owners and people who are doing the booking, and just kind of all those aspects that I do a little bit of work in. It's just kind of it's nice to not as nice as I feel like it would be to just be an artist sometimes and just like float around and just play music and not have to worry about any of that other stuff. I like that it kind of rounds me out a bit and allows me to not get upset with a sound person when they're taking a while to like take some frequencies out of something, or like not getting mad at the venue when they can't offer food or whatever, just because they have such a hard time sometimes just squeaking by. Whatever, just all that stuff. And like how appreciative I am when I go to a town and the posters for the show that we're playing that night are like on walls and like all over town and stuff. Like that takes a lot of time for someone to like go out there and just tape posters to walls, and like usually those people are doing it for lots of shows, so they're out there all the time. Whatever, it's just little things like that. It makes you I hope that it makes me more appreciative of all the little pieces that come together to make like one show happen. But also it is dragging and like pulls my mind in different directions when I would like to just focus on like making music and playing and having fun with my friends.
I know sometimes I get so overwhelmed with all of the different things that come along with being the musician. It's like, okay, when am I actually going to sit down and write a song or play for fun rather than just practice for this show that's happening specifically, Yeah. Finding that balance is key. And let me know when you find it. And
I feel like it just gets harder and harder because like, I don't know, because not everybody, or I don't know a lot of other people that are in Prince George that are just doing music.
Yeah.
So it's not like I have like other people during the day to like, hey, come over and we'll jam or, whatever. I have like lots of free time during the days.
Yeah.
A lot of days. Whatever. So I feel like it's going to get harder and harder as like people get more busy with other aspects of their life and people have families and, whatever. I feel like it's just going to be more and more challenging. That doesn't make me too sad though. Like I'm up for the challenge.
Yeah. Good. In a more positive note, I guess, what is some positive advice you can give to some emerging artists in Northern BC looking to, make a career in music?
I think the best positive advice is to just like get out and meet people and play your music with other people.
Totally.
And it's super fun to do that. So I think that's pretty positive.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, great advice.
And like never be afraid to approach somebody and talk about like aspects of the industry or songwriting or whatever that you're interested in getting better at, because people want to talk about that stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of the music industry, if you could change like one thing about it, just one thing.
Yeah.
What would it be? Just a quick. Snap your fingers and boom, it's better.
Whoa. I don't know. I think I'm torn between, and they're kind of connected, I guess. But I'm going to cheat and do two things. Okay. One thing would be for the music industry to not rely on alcohol sales to survive. And I have no idea what that would look like. It's crazy how big a part of like the money side of music alcohol is. Like venues wouldn't be able to survive if they couldn't sell alcohol.
Yeah.
And it would just be sweet to see like there are spaces where like not everybody drinks, and like all ages shows and stuff like that. And I don't know. Yeah, it would just be cool to see what that looks like. Because I don't think I've never really seen, I haven't seen too much of that. And then the other thing that would be really cool is if artists just got paid like really well every time you played music, every time you like got up on stage and plugged things in and played songs that you wrote, that you would be paid like a set amount that felt fair.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
It's like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the two things: alcohol, lack of reliance, and getting paid regular pay.
Yeah.
But I don't think either of those are possible.
Hey.
But maybe one day.
Maybe. And then to kind of cap off this portion of our interview, what's next for you? Do you have anything that you want to share with us?
Next is I'm just working on new songs and
Yeah, you've started writing some, yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, and I just got this like cassette tape recorder, and
Cool.
Jeremy gave me another one, so I've already been messing around with this other one at home. Yeah, just trying to like work on making some demos with no deadlines and no real like solid plans of releasing any of the stuff, just kind of like making for making's sake, and trying to make without a computer around me, just this little tape recorder thing. So that's what I'm working on this winter, and booking shows for the new year and booking Madloon shows for the new year, and
Cool.
yeah, just kind of getting ready for next year is the plan.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're going to move into our song exploration portion of the hour where we check out a few recorded tunes. We're going to start with the song Kick Flip Pop Shove It from Danny's 2022 EP titled Killing Birds.
Hey, dude, kick flip! Kick flip!
Left the house in the morning, everywhere there's signs saying you're not alive. Kick, flip, pop, shove it. Kick, flip, pop, shove it. Underground parking lot till they come here. When they do, they'll flash their lights and chase us. Kick, flip, pop, shove it. Kick, flip, pop, shove it. Criminal kids
Okay, cool. We just heard the song Kick Flip Pop Shove It from the EP Killing Birds. Can you tell me a little bit about this EP?
Yes, it was recorded in a like abandoned sawmill where I was working as a security guard during COVID. I kind of had the space to myself, and the job didn't really have any responsibilities. So I would bring my recording gear with me and just recorded. And I wrote all the songs there too. All the songs are kind of like inspired by working there and living in this weird sawmill warehouse thing. Well, actually, I guess that song would be the one exception. But I guess the connection to like my time there would be that I got back into skateboarding during COVID when I was working there. And I built like a little staircase. Well, there was already like a little kind of like platform with stairs on it that I like took the railing off and reshaped so that it was like skatable. So I had like a little like 2-stair with like a little handrail going down it. And then I had a little jump and some other little things that I skated on in this warehouse. And then I would go to the Mackenzie skate park, which is awesome.
It's pretty new, hey, that skate park.
Yeah, it must be, because it was like the ground is super like, yeah, it looked fresh. But yeah, it's awesome. And there's like a really good group of like funny kids that go there every day. And it was kind of funny just like getting to know these like little people in like a town that I don't even live in. It's not like I like hung out with them a bunch there or whatever, but it was just funny getting familiar with like the little skate rats that would be at the park every day. But yeah, I was just like, in getting back into skateboarding, I was reflecting on like skating as a kid, and it was kind of all I did. So that's more what the song is about. It's about like skating as a kid in a town that hated skateboarders. Everyone would call the cops on us, and there was a lot of like misinformation about like how destructive skateboarding was. A lot of shop owners thought that like even rolling like on the sidewalks or whatever would like, it would like destroy the sidewalks just like with the wheels passing over them or something.
But bikes are fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and the cops would come and like treat it really seriously. It wasn't like they would just be like, all right, move on. They would like give you tickets. And we were like, I don't know, it's probably like 10, 11, 12 years old. And yeah, they would, I just can't imagine like showing up and like finding a little 10-year-old like skateboarding and being like, all right, that's $200, you little bastard. Yeah, and like we would like run away from them because they would give us tickets. Just like a bad scene. And we would like sneak into places. And I don't know if I guess we probably would have snuck into these places anyways. I was going to blame the laws for sneaking in.
Is this you and all of the kids in Mackenzie, or this is...
No, I'm not doing crimes with these kids. No.
Just have to clarify that. Yeah,
no, these are like these are my friends when I was a kid. No, yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Everything was above board in Mackenzie.
Way back in the States.
Yeah.
Way back when.
Yeah. Yeah, we would like break into this hospital that was near my house that had like, they didn't use the bottom floor, so no one ever went down there, but they still cleaned it. So it was like all these like marble floors.
Yeah.
And we would just like skate around the bottom of this hospital. It was so fun. But we figured out that we could get in after this, we realized that the back door was just open and we could just walk in the back door. But first, the way we first got in was there were like these like strips going across where the ambulance went in. My friend Forrest jumped on one and I jumped on the other because it's supposed to like hit where both the car tires hit. So I had to jump on one and he jumped on the other, and the ambulance door went up. And so that's how we got into the hospital the first time, was just like, and then it actually worked. But yeah, then we found that the back door was just like literally open. So
could have just walked in.
Yeah. That place is actually gone now, which is sad. But yeah, that's kind of what the song is about. Yeah, and my mom says like, because yeah, people hated skateboarders, but my mom obviously has a soft spot for them. And every time she hears that like ka-doo, 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 ka-doo of like a skateboard coming up her sidewalk, it just like brings her back to like really good memories.
Yeah, there is like a nasty stereotype around skateboarders though. Like
yeah,
I was in Nelson and I remember listening to this man on the street, like he was enraged about the skateboarders, but like there was literally nothing going on. They were just getting from point A to point B, but just like waving fists, like not it's pretty unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah, most of it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I wonder if sometimes them being that way pushes skateboarding to a more, I don't know, pushes skateboarding towards a place of what they actually think it looks like, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Like with drugs around and
Yeah.
partying and, you know, whatever they,
Graffiti and-
graffiti, vandalizing, whatever
Yeah.
they think skateboarders do. Kind of makes you more inclined to do that stuff when people think you already do it.
May as well. Cool. Well, thanks for that insight into that song.
Yes.
There's also the moody steel guitar entering into that EP, like kind of making itself known. And yeah, that's such a great, beautiful treat. Is that the first time we hear steel guitar in your music,
Yeah.
like recorded music?
Yeah, that was the first album that Liam played steel guitar on.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a cool introduction. It's a great like first song for the EP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I really like, he's such a great player. And it's a really cool instrument too, just kind of fits really well with the rest of what's going on.
Yeah, was that your like how did that come to be? Like how did you just kind of knew you wanted it, or did
No,
you know
I-
Liam previously, or
Yeah, I knew him previously through like his band Volunteers played a show at Omanika like forever ago.
okay.
And then him and his partner put on shows for a long time down in Vernon. So we would go down and play there. And then I saw during COVID that he was like sharing videos of like learning the steel guitar, and it sounded really cool. And so that's what made me think like, oh, this could work really well.
Yeah.
And then I reached out and he was like super game to do it. So
And this EP, Killing Birds, this was recorded in studio.
it was recorded in that sawmill for the most part.
Really?
But
okay.
his steel parts he recorded himself in
Right,
Vernon.
like remotely, and then
Yeah.
yeah. But most of it was recorded in Mackenzie.
Yeah, like the drums, and maybe I did like vocals at Connor's or something. I know there was some stuff that happened at Connor's, I thought.
Yeah.
It wasn't all, but it was like most of it was at the mill.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you lugged everything out
Yeah.
there. Yeah. What were you doing? What else were you doing there?
Nothing.
Absolutely
Nothing
nothing.
good.
Let's move into your current release, contemporary accordion music. We're going to check out my favorite song actually on the album. It's called Overpass. Let's listen to that.
Mistrust inside, taking all kinds of time from you and I. A possession when stolen, free when it's mine. And there's a lakeland somewhere with cool cleansing water. And I'm an overpass, source of trash in the blue. Filled up, ran
Okay, that last song was called Overpass, and that's from Danny Bell and His Disappointment's latest release, Contemporary Accordion Music. Okay, I've said this before on CFUR airwaves, but I'm going to say it again. I have a playlist in my mind that I curate frequently. I'm constantly removing songs and putting songs on it. It's not written down, it's just in here. So it's not really helpful for anyone except for me, but it's called my End of the World playlist, and Overpass is on that playlist. And that's a good thing. It's not like a like a dreary, it is dreary, I guess, but it's a compliment, because, yeah, it's like a song that I could picture being on that playlist when you don't know how much time you have left, and and that it suits the mood in a good way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyways, I really like that song. So
Thanks.
I'm trying to compliment you. This song to me feels like a really big reality check, and I'm excited to hear your thoughts and actual real insight into how it came about and what it's about, the meaning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually just about being really hard on yourself. Yeah, and like everybody else, I'm trying to do better at like not doing that so much. But it's just a really easy thing to default to because, like, I don't know, you can always see yourself doing pretty much everything better than you do it. You know?
Yeah.
At least that's the way it is for me. I hope that's not just me.
I don't think it's just you.
I think it's got to be most people.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that we can do it better. It's a real bummer of a song, actually, because it doesn't really come out of it. There's no, like, I don't think there's any moment in it where it, like, has like any hope. It's just like one of those songs that just kind of sits in a bad moment and stays there. That's the one where the end I took my yeah so I really started experimenting with some freaky sounds on this album, and that was kind of one of the bigger ones, the more obnoxious ones at the end of that song, which I really enjoyed doing that too.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about those effects? Like, what are you using?
It's the best pedal ever made. It's the Dodd Rubberneck delay, and it's like a regular delay. And for those of you that don't know, a delay pedal like just like makes the signal repeat. So like a delayed version of what you just said repeats again after you say it. But this one has like some special stuff in it where you can like hold the pedal down, a button down, and it just like self oscillates, which means the signal just keeps repeating to infinity or whatever over top of itself.
Yeah.
And then the reason it's called the Rubberneck is you can hit this other button that makes it go like so it like flops over, you know, and then flops back up like a piece of rubber. But I think for the end of Overpass, I just like let it flop and stay flopped. So it just like goes down an octave and slows down the repeat. So it's like, but yeah,
cool.
It's really fun.
Yeah. Also, the drums have like a different feel, not only in this song, but I find like in this entire record.
Totally.
Too, My Drum Talk is Bad. I feel like you should explain it better. I've heard Connor say that it's more of like a punk vibe for the drums for this album.
Yeah, totally. I think that's the best way to explain it. And I just took because like in Black Spruce Bog, I played like pretty much a country shuffle for every song at varying tempos.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it was even like the same tempo, which is the party tempo, which was fun, but it is kind of monotonous. And I wound up doing that same shuffle stuff for a lot of my early music. And I really like the shuffle, but I was sick of the shuffle. So I replaced the shuffle with the punk beat. It's basically interchangeable. I found that you can like, even if you're writing a song with the shuffle in your mind, that the punk beat works better. Yeah, and I just wanted to do like more of like a rock, like punk kind of thing instead of folky sound. And I think on the next one I'll probably go like even further in that direction.
Cool.
But yeah, just trying to get like away from folk as far as I can. Not that I hate folk music or anything. I'm just trying to like just kind of being attracted to different sounds lately that don't really fit into the folk thing.
Which is cool because each album is kind of evolving in its own way further away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also we're hearing Liam again
Mm-hmm.
on this, which is also really nice.
Yes.
And you're hearing Liam a lot more in this album too.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think I'm pretty sure he was on every song on the last one. And he's on every song except for 1 or 2 on this one. But yeah, he was involved from like a pretty early part of the like early stage of the recording process.
Yeah.
In this one. And I think on the last one, I pretty much had everything kind of done and then send it to him.
Right. Just like some final little elements.
Yeah, and he also recorded some cool like baritone guitar, or at least it sounded like baritone guitar. I don't know if he actually used a baritone, which broke my no guitar rule that I had forever. And now I'm actually playing with a guitar player live too, usually. So
cool. Well, so for this latest album, can you tell us like where it was recorded and the process behind that?
So most of the recording took place at my house, just in a room that I like set up for recording. And then we recorded bass at Connor's studio here in town, Pulp City. And then we recorded piano in Kamloops at Holy Cow Studios.
Okay.
Which is a friend of ours, actually from Mother Son, that
Cool.
band. Yeah, we did piano down there. And the piano player from Mother Son played piano, Alex.
So
I think that's it.
Still kind of like, pieced at different places.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. Have you been enjoying that
I don't know.
method of recording or do
Not this
you
time.
see not this time? Okay.
Yeah, like
how do you see it changing next
for
next project? Or how would you like it to change, I guess?
I don't even know. I don't know what I want to do, how I want to do it next time. Like for Killing Birds, I recorded that all myself, like kind of in the same way that I recorded this last one, in different places, but like kind of used the same approach, like to like building it, you know?
Yeah.
And it just didn't work as well this time, and I don't actually know why. I think like during COVID, maybe one explanation would be that like there weren't the option to like meet up and record together wasn't even there, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas this time it totally was. We just didn't or whatever, like, and we did some of it together. Like I was there when we were doing the bass and stuff, and I was there doing the piano with Alex in Kamloops. But more so like making the album together, like I don't really know. I think that's what I want to do next time, but I don't know exactly what that looks like, because up until this point it's been me making writing everything or almost everything for the songs, you know?
Yeah.
People send me stuff and it transforms the song. Like when they send me their parts, you know, it makes me think about things differently, and it totally changes the way the song feels sometimes.
But maybe moving into more of like a collaborative, like in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I just want to like play music with people in person more this year, outside of shows, I mean. And I think I want to build that into the process, whatever that looks like. I'm not really quite sure exactly, but it wasn't quite as much fun as it was the first time. I think all the songs were about being sad too. So, and I like was having a real hard time with my voice last winter for some reason. And so I was just having to sing these songs over and over and over and over again. And it just like, I feel like it started to affect me after a while, and I was just like, I hate this. I hate these songs.
I want to be done.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I was like at the beginning of the process of making an album, you know, so. But I powered through, you know, and just whatever.
I guess final question for us today. What do you hope listeners will take away from your latest release?
Well, like I said, I think most of it is about kind of being a little sad boy. So I hope that it's not something that just like makes people sad or worried or something. I hope that it's kind of nice for other people to like, I kind of hope that the songs are like a little release moment for other people that are feeling those same things, you know, where you can like sit in that for a little bit and maybe like party to a song while you're doing it, and reframe the way that you're kind of treating yourself or whatever. Yeah, I don't really know what I want people to get from it, but I know that I don't want them to be too sad after listening to it, even though it's like a really, for the most part, comes from a sad place. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I want them to get from it, I guess. I just want them to enjoy it as much as possible.
I think they are already enjoying it.
Nice.
Okay, I want to thank you so much for being here and spending time with us in studio for the Northern Static series on CFUR 88.7 FM.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime.